Hey guys, RCT3 Crashes 100 here, and I'm here with another Japanese yen note. This is one that I have shown on the channel before. This is a 2,000 yen note, and I feel that my original video on this one didn't really do it justice, so we're returning back to these notes, in particular because I tend to get a lot of them at my workplace. This isn't another bill in my till video, so to speak, like a handful of my previous ones recently have been. This one I purchased from Tesco Travel Money, like I do quite a few of my foreign cash, and it will be going into my Japan fund. This note isn't really for my collection. I'm going to get a nicer one than this, although exactly how much nicer you can get with these, you can't really get much nicer than these, and I'll explain that later on. So, of course, this is a 2,000 yen note, or Nisen en Shihei, as it is pronounced in Japanese. Probably butchered that, but that's how it's done. This note is a Series D note, not a new Series E note, because this one came out before the redesigns of the 1,000 yen, 5,000 yen, and 10,000 yen notes. It was brought out to commemorate the 26th G Summit in Okinawa, and as you can see here we have Shuremon, which is one of the main gates to Shuri Castle in Okinawa. Unfortunately, since my original video on these notes, Shuri Castle caught fire and much of it burnt down, but this gate is one of the structures that survived unscathed, and they are in the process of rebuilding it, so that's quite nice. This note does come with some security features. I wish I had a UV scanner because I could show off how parts of this note, in particular the seal of the Bank of Japan, actually do glow under UV, which is pretty cool. On the reverse, we have this really nice woodblock illustration here of Lady Murasaki on the right, and we have another woodblock print here from the Tale of Genji, and it includes some of the writing from the story that obviously Lady Murasaki wrote, which is pretty neat. We also have this really nice, if I could shine a light behind it, but I can't, the watermark here also has Shuremon on it, which is pretty cool. So what is special, or rather, I guess, interesting about this note, is it kind of enjoys a similar situation to America's $2 bill, although this is worth quite a bit more. At the current exchange rate, one of these is worth about £14 in UK money. That fluctuates quite a bit, of course, because the yen does tend to fluctuate a little bit, but on the whole it's a very stable currency. Prices are very good for it, which is why I'm obviously acquiring some to go to my Japan fund. But what makes this note interesting, as opposed to, say, our 10,000 yen note, which I do actually have one to show off, because I didn't have that in my last video on Japanese yen, so here it is. I'll probably make a separate video on this one just for it, but here you go. This is a Series E 10,000 yen note. Unlike the 10,000, 5,000 or 1,000 yen notes, which we will just put this to one side, the 2,000 yen note has a bit of an odd status in the Japanese yen banknotes. You can't really get it from cash machines easily, with some exceptions. Primarily because, obviously, this note is themed around Okinawa, you can apparently get it there from cash machines quite easily. But in most cases, they don't really stock these in cash machines because they're not really used very much. Apparently, many vending machines don't take these, although I have found videos on YouTube from Japan of vending machines that do. There isn't really a slot for them in cash registers, and also people don't really seem to like taking them. They prefer breaking notes into coins and 1,000 yen notes, and if at all possible, which leads to this interesting scenario where even though the 10,000 yen note is worth inherently a lot more than what you'd normally use to pay for your vending machine, apparently you really can put these in and have your change given to you in coins or smaller notes, which is pretty neat. So basically this means the Bank of Japan has tons of these in reserve. They have so many of them, in fact, that barely any of it circulates. Apparently circulation dropped off during the mid-2000s because circulation was at around 514 million in 2004. If I'm remembering this correctly, I'm probably butchering this horribly again. Let me just pause this actually, because I will go and take a look. Oh, I can't pause it. Never mind. It's not like one of these ones. Yes, originally it was quite a bit higher in the mid-2000s, but then it very abruptly began to tail off. Primarily because, again, just like the $2 bill, people began hoarding these. Some consider these bills to be lucky, which, I mean, I guess. If you see a bill in nice condition, it's an unusual one, you might want to hang on to it. But this, again, has the side effect, just like the $2 bill, where people do not spend them. Because there are so many in reserve in Japan, they seem to send almost all of these out to foreign exchanges around the world. And that in particular is probably how my one got to me, and also how all the ones I handle at my workplace get to me. Just thought that was kind of an interesting thing about a note here, which, you know, honestly, I think it deserves a bit more publicity. It'd be cool to see this note used more, because unfortunately, unlike the other notes, this one isn't going to get a redesign. Since I made the original video, the Bank of Japan has come out with new designs for the 1, 5 and 10,000 yen notes. But unfortunately, due to low circulation, this one is staying just the way it is. Presumably, what they're going to do with it will be very similar to the other Series D banknotes, where they actually do keep them in use, legal tender, for a while longer. Potentially for many years longer, because the 1980s yen banknotes are still legal tender. I've yet to see any of them in any orders though, because all we have are Series E notes, obviously with the exception of this, which is a Series D note. Would be interesting to see those in use, but yeah, until then, who knows what's next for this bill. Hopefully it will be going with me on a trip to Japan in the hopefully not so distant future. But until then, this has been a quick video on the 2000 yen note. I'm RCT3Crashes100, and I hope you enjoyed this quick video. Have a nice day. Over and out.